Are you about to watch this video and you're not liked and subscribed to it? Like the video, please. Just go down. It's right there. It's right there.
I did. I hit it. Have you hit it?
Welcome back to Starting Nine.
Let's go.
Episode 244. We got a lot to talk about today. Again, we're gonna pimp the YouTube channel. Head over there. We got full episodes on there if you want to watch Dallas being a weirdo in his sketchy hotel room or whatever that is, Airbnb. You can watch him do that. You can watch me sit in front of a green screen doing these episodes. I wanted to bring something up, and then it's going to segue into a question that I have for you as a former player.
Uh-oh.
So last night, the Red Sox are playing the Braves at Fenway Park, 2-game series. There's a rain delay after the 7th inning for 3 hours.
Yeah.
3-hour rain delay.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, I mean, the game wasn't decided one way or the other. It became that way when it was 9-4 in the middle of a goddamn monsoon. But after the rain delay, I mean, like the forecast said that there is rain just for the rest of the night. Like it was raining just as hard when they came back to play as it was during the rain delay. And they probably spent more time working on the field than they did playing baseball after coming back from this rain delay. And the Red Sox have an off day today, so it is what it is. Not a big deal for them. But the Braves still had to fucking travel after that. Like the Braves, like the game got over at like 1 o'clock in the morning. They like first pitch to resume the game was at midnight. They probably finished the game around 1 a.m., maybe a little bit after that. And then they still had to travel the next day. Two-part question, I guess, for you. If you're on the Braves, are you like, let's fucking finish this thing because we have a shot to win when it's 9-4? Or are you like, all right, buddy, like we got a fucking bird to catch and we've got a city to get to. We're not trying to get in at 4 o'clock in the morning and then play baseball the next day.
No, they're still outs. They're
off. They're off today too because I think the Met. I think they're going to Queens to play the Mets, and the Mets have a doubleheader today.
Well, then that right there plays a big role in the decision that gets made. First of all, I'm sure you understand that thinking about it now. Like, okay, both teams have an off day. Well, then it makes sense that they're going to wait it out as long as possible because the next day is the travel day, and you could potentially leave that city that you're in right now. You could leave that city at 5 o'clock at night and be totally fine getting into wherever it is you're getting into and be good to go. So, wow, shitty. Yeah, the idea is we still got 9 outs left. It's just the 7th inning. We got 9 outs to score. Well,
the 7th inning was the 8th and the 9th.
Okay, so we got 6 outs still. The idea is there's outs, baby. There are outs out there, and that means that there's an opportunity out there. So as pissed off as you are at the situation being pushed back, delay, because I mean 3 hours, man, the body starts to go into shutdown mode, right? And that's why it's tough to keep yourself hot, to keep yourself limber, ramp it back up if you're never able to kind of stay loose. So yeah, you're pissed, but ultimately, man, we're here to win ball games. And that's, if the opportunity is there to win this game and you're losing, I'd like that opportunity, please.
But say you as a pitcher, you've played 7 innings, you're losing, you've got to travel after this game, and it's a 3-hour rain delay. You're just sitting around in that fucking closet-sized Fenway Park road clubhouse.
Been there.
And you've got what was it, Bob Guerin?
Yeah. Well, dude, we had a rain delay. I dealt with a rain delay in Boston.
Yeah, Bob Guerin comes up to you and he's like, Dallas, when this rain delay is up, you've got the 8th. And then you go out there and it's raining just as hard as it was during hour number 2 of the rain delay. And you're standing out there and it looks like you just showered with your uniform on. What are you feeling in that moment?
I'm not happy. I'm not happy at all. I'm ready to fight Bob Guerin for sending me out there at that point in time. But you're also like the competitor in you tells you, fuck it, I've got the ball, let's go. We're trying to get this thing over with, and if I'm the one who's got to do it, then let's do it. But what's funny, dude, is you've seen guys today, in this day and age do what I forget who it was, but just started throwing the balls back to the umpire. Yeah. Like, no, like essentially saying, I'm not going to do this and you're not going to make us do this. So I'm done with this. Like, I'm going to force you to make it. I'm going to force you to address how ridiculous it is that we're out here doing this right now. Like, I'm not going to let you just send us down this fucking path. Not going to happen. I call it riding the idiot bus. And when you don't address things like that, the driver of the idiot bus, the umpiring crew, is asking everybody to get on the idiot bus and take this idiot ride. And everybody's going, no, thank you. No fucking thank you at all. Nobody's signing up to take that ride. Can we address the fact that you're even giving out these bus rides? Can we acknowledge that or no? Like, this line of buses should not be running. What the fuck are we doing? Players aren't afraid to do that now.
What's the worst flight that you've taken after a game? Like, you got in at like 4:30 in the morning, you got in at 5 a.m. Like, what's the worst traveling experience you've ever had because of something like that?
Ooh, because of a flight, because of a rain delay, I would say maybe leaving Detroit and it was just a plain flight.
Yeah, I want to say in 2004, there was something with the Red Sox where the plane just wouldn't take off and they got in at like 5 a.m. or something like that.
So I wasn't, I was not on this plane ride. Okay. But I think we're leaving Kansas City. The team was leaving Kansas City and Bob Guerin had been fired.
Ooh.
And
what year is it?
We all knew it. 2009, 12, I think. No. 2012, maybe 11. No, fuck, I don't know. I think 11. Anyway, he gets fired. We all know it. But if the skipper doesn't get on the team plane, people take note of that. And if the skipper doesn't get off the team plane, people take note of that as well. So in an effort to not raise that red flag, I assume, the manager or the former manager actually rode the airplane with the team that he was no longer the manager of. And what ensued on that flight was absolute chaos. Absolute chaos.
What happened?
They wanted, on top of the weather issues that they were having, like, it was documented by everybody that was on that plane, hands down the worst plane flight they've ever been on in their life. Like, dropping 300 feet multiple times in the air. Like, guys were standing up in the back saying rosaries. Like, they thought they were dead. They were going down.
I thought that there was like a connection to the firing where he just like lost his shit and everyone was like, get me off this plane. This was just a bad flight.
Though, no, that was actually part of it. Is they're like, what do we do? And he's the one calling the shots, the manager who's just been fired. And what does he say? Fuck it, keep flying. We're going. We're flying through this.
Like, if this plane's going down, it doesn't matter. I got nothing to walk into once we get boots in the ground.
So you've got people just losing their shit, just yelling, the inmates run this prison. The inmates run this fucking prison. Like, just losing their mind on the airplane. And it's just not a good scene at all, because you're also processing the loss of your life at the same time, where you're like, is this fucking really happening? Is the manager, who's no longer the manager, on this plane ride right now? Oh shit, did we just plummet 500 feet in the air? Did I just kiss the fucking ceiling of this airplane right now? I'm going to need another cocktail.
What is it like to be on a team that has the manager fired mid-season? Like, is that like, does everyone kind of, I mean, I guess it depends on the manager. Like, do players feel responsible where it's like, damn, like if I had just played a little bit better, maybe he still has a job? Or is it like, yeah, it was probably time for a change?
Walks a fine line. If your manager, and if you can feel the individual having a lack of feel, and you know that he has just a lack of a pulse on the clubhouse, he just doesn't really know what's going on, and he doesn't know how to lead. You sense that immediately, because Jared, you got a room full of today 26 like very rich and then wealthy individuals who haven't taken shit from anybody their entire life, have been told no their entire life, that they can't achieve what they've achieved their entire life. And those people have to be led by somebody who's kind of been there and done that themselves and feels that same way. And if you just don't have that club in the bag, you can't fake that. You get snuffed out very, very, very quickly. And it's just a lack of communication, ultimately a lack of ability to command respect. And there's a difference between demand and command, right? Mm-hmm. Guys walk into a room and people shut up and turn and listen when they speak. Those are individuals who command respect. Other guys just chirp and are loud and blah, 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 and bitch about not having attention of the room. Those are the guys that demand respect, that have none. And so when a guy like Bob Melvin walks into a room, he commands respect. You just want to listen to what that dude has to say. You want to go to bat for him. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The biggest regret of my baseball career is not being able to throw a single fucking pitch for Bob Melvin. Knowing what I had in a manager, I mean, he came in and brought me into the room, and we had multiple extensive conversations about the culture of our club, the roster construction, who we had in AAA, shit like that. Like, that's who this dude was. And I went from having a manager that, frankly, had no business being in our clubhouse. Like, you can stay in your office, that's fine, but don't come in here. This is our room. And Bob Melvin, like, you know, that's a guy you want to send an invitation to, like, hey, Skip, what are you doing? You want to come hang out in the clubhouse? You know? And that's just a different vibe. So when he walked into the room and gave us the State of the Union, like, this is what we're doing. This is where we've come from. We get it. This is what we're going to be doing. Let's fucking roll. It was just like a, got ourselves a baseball man.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. I mean, I'd love to kind of like poll players around the league and kind of ask them, like, what is it that you would obviously have to be anonymous. Like, what is it about your manager that you love? What is it about your manager that kind of like, you know, is off-putting, things like that? Because I feel like a guy like, you know, Bomel is
the biggest thing, Jared, is communication.
Yeah.
That is the biggest
no doubt.
thing. That is number one.
Yeah, guys don't want to be caught with their pants down in a situation where it's like, oh, we got a lefty coming out in the seventh inning, and you're telling me to go get a bat. Like, I wasn't prepared to get a bat right now, but if you send me a text the night before being like, hey, you know, if this lefty's gonna come out in the seventh or the eighth, like, you're the first guy that's gonna get the call, so you're kind of ready and you're waiting for it.
And it's managing things like that, like off days, right? Giving guys like we just saw. I mean, your guy in Boston. You got a couple days coming up. You got a couple days off or whatever. Yeah. You can give a guy a day and then utilize that off day.
Right. Double off.
And now you've given 2 or 3 guys a weekend off, essentially 2 days. And while it might seem trivial to be able to identify those places on the schedule, that's important. That's very important. And to your starters, to your veteran guys, you know, on Saturday, they get to the ballpark and they know before the game that day that Sunday is going to be an off day. Mm-hmm. All right. Hey, I'm going to give you tomorrow off. So blah, 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 blah. Great. And that happens the day before. Like, think about the kind of comfort level you're creating for these guys. They know what's going on. Like, we have a saying that comes through the minor leagues and CTFB, check the fucking board. Where are you supposed to be? What's supposed to be going on? You go check the board and that'll tell you exactly what's going on, when, what time. Right? Check the fucking board, CTFB. And that's the feeling that getting that heads up kind of gives you. It alleviates the idea, like, do I need to go check the fucking board? Yeah, you do. You absolutely do. But the manager's helping you out here. That's big time.
Speaking of managers, before we get into the meat of the podcast, did you happen to see Schilt's post-game press conference yesterday?
Every bit of it.
Okay. So it was about 9.5 minutes. I mean, we normally I would normally I would drop a clip in here to kind of give you some context. It is something that if you want the full context, you're going to go find it on Twitter and check it out. It is 9 minutes and 55 seconds. First of all, I commend him for speaking up about this. And you knew, like, it wasn't so much that Schilt was going to be the guy that pioneered the public speaking about this. It just happened to be that one of his guys was the first to kind of get called out publicly for it. So that could have been anybody. That could have been anybody that was forced to be in that position to speak on it. But I mean, everything that he said was 100% true. Like, if you're going to come at my guy because he's got some rosin on his hat or he's got some sunscreen or whatever, and you're going to come at him for that, that's not the type of shit that Major League Baseball told us that they were looking to police. And I know that Dallas can speak on this more in depth and with more accuracy as being someone who used some sunscreen in his day. That's fine. But there's a big difference between guys going out there and putting bullfrog sunscreen on their forearm during a day game, mixing it up with the sweat and creating their own better version of a pine tar that's invisible, because that's for grip. What some of these other guys are using, that Trevor Bauer tried to bring attention to this 2 years ago when he was pointing to the Astros. This was not a sign stealing thing. This was a, this was more of a, I guess you can call it cheating thing. They were creating this sticky substance where Bauer was like, you cannot naturally just bump up your fastball 400 RPM without using a substance. You cannot do it. And he was pointing to his former college teammate, Garrett Cole, who immediately, upon arriving in Houston, his fastball went up 400 RPM and he turned it into $500 million contract, which, good for you. If they're not going to tell you that you can't do it, or they're not going to penalize you for doing it, go right the fuck ahead and do it. Like, you want to be a superstar and you want to make $500 million and they're not going to come at you. It's the same thing as steroids before there was testing. Like, do I blame any of the dudes in the 90s that were roided up and mashing homers? No. I mean, like, you want to have an integrity conversation? Sure. But if you want to have I'm creating generational wealth for myself and my family, and I'm gonna be on the fucking the billboards across the country. Yeah, sign me up for that. You may cost yourself the Hall of Fame, but that paycheck still clears. So when you're talking about like coming at a player for using bullfrog and rosin and all that's for grip. And I think Schilt even made the point that if you asked hitters, like, do they care about that? No. What they care about is the concocted substance that we're talking about. Pitchers that I think one of the direct quotes was, he was like, these guys are using the bullfrog for grip. These other substances are making these pitches look like wiffle balls. That's a big difference. Things. Right. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to come at my guy and say like, hey, look, we are policing the game, we're policing it, you're policing the wrong thing. Like, you told us you were going to crack down on meth, and you just arrested my guy for marijuana.
No, that's where the problem is, Jared, is the inconsistency in how, when, why, and to whom this is enforced. That's the problem, is because is Joe West and Dan Bellino, the home plate umpire, who I believe originally spotted it and then walked down to Joe West.
Was this, correct me if I'm wrong, before he even threw a pitch?
Correct.
Okay.
And that matters. Okay. That matters in context. We have to remember that. We're going to get to all that. So he goes down and he tells him, hey, Joe, looks like somebody's got something on his hat. Joe, I think the pitcher's got something on his hat. What do we do, Joe? Oh God, I got it. Don't you worry, pal. I'm Cowboy Joe. You know who I am? They just fucking celebrated me yesterday for umpiring the most games in Major League. I got this. So he walks up, tells him what's going on. That action right there, Jared, is exactly what is on the books. That's what's been asked to be done. That's a rule that's in place. We're going to monitor that stuff. So, and we have to prevent that stuff from happening. So that's what they did. And the problem is what we've been told publicly, what we all know to kind of be, as Schilt said, the dirty little secret of baseball, and it's not a secret. No. We've all understood that. So we all, the fans, the commissioner's office, the umpires, and the players, all are of the same understanding that this shit's getting used and nobody's doing anything about it. That is the reality that we all live in. Mm-hmm. And there have been complaints about it. And so now they go back to, hey guys, we got to start enforcing these rules that have been on the books for a really long time. Well, where do we start? Is it lost on anybody that Joe West is at the center of this the day after his fucking hoopla? Right. Yeah. Well, they say the Chicago White Sox are the ones who brought it to their attention. Right.
Yeah.
So as much as I want to ridicule Joe for making it about him, maybe it is just a coincidence that the day after he celebrated the way he is, quote unquote celebrated, that he finds himself in this position the very next day. And so it's kind of like just a happenstance thing. Well, it happens to be Joe there, and you know who's a dog with a bone, and that's Joe West. You give him that bone and he ain't going to let go. And that's what happened. He got tipped off and he said, okay, you know what? Yeah, fuck it. Today, May 26th, this seems like as good a time as any to start that ball rolling down the hill. And that's where I had the problem. But if we're being honest, Jared, this is going to change the game. This is going to change the game. This moment
How
right
quickly?
Here, well, that right there is what will remain to be seen, because this is why I tweeted, and I've been looking for it, but I said it. What Joe West did was back his umpires and the league into a corner. And that is why they are now forced to do one or two things. You're either going to address this issue and make something happen, or you're going to do what we all know, which is confirm. This is what I tweeted. Joe West has backed his umpires and the league into a corner. He's going to make somebody enforce it, or he be damned. Or he's going to expose the lack of desire from MLB to want to enforce this, which isn't a secret. From there, shit either changes or we're going to see guys using Velcro. And those are the fucking facts.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that it happened in May is like, okay, where do we go from here? Because now like I said, you're forcing baseball's hand. And Joe West kind of puts the other umpires in a tough spot too. Because now what happens if we see guys that have spots on their hat but aren't asked to remove that hat? Now what happens? Are teams, do they feel empowered now by Schilt to say, hey, you know what? If our guy's getting plucked out like this out of thin air, it's open season now, managers. You're no longer shady. You're no longer blowing up anybody's spot. You're no longer telling baseball's dirty secrets. You're not giving anything away now because it's all out in the open now, right? Joe West has opened Pandora's box. We now know. So fuck it. Like going back to the Pineda issue with your boy, the manager, like that's not a thing. Farrell might not hesitate to go out there.
Well, that was egregious. I think he even said that. I think one of the things he
that's
said
the point,
after that
Jared.
was like,
he said I didn't even want to go out there. I didn't even want to go out. Like Pineda was wearing a fucking pine tar necklace. And John Farrell, a former pitcher, was like, I didn't really even want to go out there. Like, why not? Well, we all know why. Because it's one of those dirty little secrets that we all know. That's why he didn't want to go out there, because he knows his own house is not clean, much like Schilt addressed. And he did a good job of being, of politicking here and saying, well, I'd like to think that we're 100%, but I don't know. There could be. And that's what you should have said at that moment in time. That's exactly what you should have said. But from here, like I said, now we've got different avenues that can be traveled down, and it's going to be interesting to see where they go. Because if Joe West umpires don't enforce it the way he did, like how many guys do you think came in ball games last night, Jared, that had the same shit on their hat that weren't asked to remove their hat?
85%. Like,
so
I mean, it's
if you're part of the umpiring union, if you're like trying to figure out integrity here and like how to attack this, how do you look at what Joe West did yesterday and then just like keep the volume level at a 2? And they're like, yeah, no big deal.
So what I think is that this was kind of a warning shot to scare others into not doing it. But and I can't remember if I said it on this podcast or not, but on opening day, like I wasn't going to name any names. There was a pitcher who in his first start got lit the fuck up, like absolutely lit up in his first start of the season. And then his next start, the RPM went up like 350 and he just started shoving, and he's been pitching great ever since then. So I think what happened was there were probably some guys that in the first start of the year, they were like, oh shit, they're finally going to crack down on this. Like they're finally going to police this. So guys maybe in their first start were like, all right, I'm just going to go up there, raw dog, see what happens. And if they sucked, and then they looked around the league and they were comparing spin rate numbers from, start number one with guys to what their spin rate was last year, then they're like, oh, other guys are clearly saying they're, calling the league's bluff. Like, you're not going to actually police this. Then they just started using it again. So I just want to put this out there. If you listen to the podcast, you know how I feel about this, but just in case this is your first time listening, I don't give a fuck about the sticky stuff. I really don't.
Now here's the issue though, Jared, is we can't look at the steroid era and have the opinions that you do on how that was policed, how that went, the impact it had on guys' earning power.
Well, it's almost identical.
You're exactly right. And so from there, I think about the guys who aren't using it.
Well, and also in the steroid era, when we talk about the steroid era, like we think about hitters, we think about home run hitters. But at the end of the day, pitchers were also using steroids. So with the sticky stuff, it's like this is only an advantage for the pitchers. There's
Correct.
No advantage for hitters whatsoever.
Correct.
With this new epidemic in the sport of baseball. So I guess that's the only variance.
But the balance here is nobody's getting breaded up for a 4.5 ERA.
No,
there are guys getting breaded up who are hitting 240, 250, trying to hit 30, 40 jacks.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you get your bag if you're not Garrett Cole, if you're not Jacob deGrom? How do you go and get your bag? Here's how you go and get your bag. This is
correct. And it's working.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But the counterpoint to that is, what about guys now? Because this is where, when we talk about integrity of the game, where the game is going, I'm not talking about integrity in terms of cheating. I'm talking about the actual game of baseball. What kind of product do you want to watch? Like, seriously, if you're just here for the homers and the punch outs, then there's no reason you should be opposed to steroids or the sticky shit. There's no reason you should be opposed to that at all, because that's exactly what those two things would give you. They would give you 105 miles an hour. They would give you 500-foot home runs, and they would give you 18 to 22 punch outs a fucking game. That's what that's going to give you. And if that's the kind of baseball you want to watch, keep your mouth shut.
It's such a catch-22, because I think Dave Roberts had the quote on Tuesday when the Dodgers got to Houston. And I think they asked him, like, hey, is the hatred for the Astros ever going to go away? And Dave was basically just like, yeah, the thing about cheating in sports is that fans really don't like that. And the reason why that's a catch-22 is because what does the most engagement on social media if you're a baseball fan? It's the fucking wiffle ball pitch movement, and it's the long homers. So it's like, you want to come out here and be like, fuck cheating and fuck these. Like, the Astros sign stealing stuff is completely different. Like, obviously that's a form of cheating that no one will support. But if you're crying cheating over the sticky stuff and steroids, but then you're also loving the long homers and the fucking pitching ninja videos where guys are throwing wiffle balls up there, you can't have it both ways. Like, as a fan, I think, you have to look at it from two different ways. When you look at the highlights of these pitchers throwing like the Chaz Rowe wiffle ball sliders that Dallas like jerks off to, those are awesome. Like, I love watching that shit. It's fascinating. And the homers that get blasted up into the light tower, love that. But when you get to a point in our game where that's kind of like all you get, then I mean, like that's where you get the guys that, like David Ortiz was saying, well, baseball is boring now because it's all homers and strikeouts. And for me, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I think baseball is boring right now.
That's
I get
hilarious
it.
Coming out of the mouth of a designated hitter.
I guess, but he also was not like a 200 strikeout guy. Like, he's still.
I get it.
Yeah,
Poppy,
he's not Joey Gallo.
But Poppy not hitting and running. That's just it's a different, like, there's nothing wrong with him saying it.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with him saying it at all. It's just, it is funny to hear. To hear Poppy, who you could put 9 guys on one side of the field, unless you're at Fenway, he's going to fucking pepper the wall. He's like, yeah, I want to see more action in the game. We all do. That's a power hitter who appreciate. I mean, look, you know who that dude played with? He played with some studs. He played with some absolute studs. Most recently, a guy like Mookie Betts, who he got to watch fly all the way around the fucking field.
Well, the thing about David too is like he wasn't like a 240 hitter that just hit 40. He had a fucking 320 season under his belt.
Yeah, dude's a thumper by every sense. So, and again, that's why it sounds funny for somebody of his stature to say, like, to say that, to voice those opinions. But it's true. Like, you think about the touchdowns, the highlights that you talk about on social media, the home runs, the punch outs. Well, same thing for football, like the big touchdown pass or the wipeout tackle, just dude getting fucking decapitated. Those move the needle, but the nuance of the game, fans appreciate, fans still like a pancake block or a crackback or a guy that's able to break 3 or 4 tackles and get 12 yards. Like, those highlights are fun to watch too. Maybe don't get the buzz going, but it's nuanced. And the triple, the hit and run executed, like, those are nuances that are a part of the game that folks aren't privy to these days because it just doesn't happen. So it's almost like they're watching something weird, like they're watching the Matrix glitch when a runner steals, or when a runner steals and a guy hits the ball. I feel like fans these days are like, what the fuck is going on? What are they doing? Why is he moving? Like, he hasn't hit it yet. Yeah. Like, no, that's actually part of the game. Like, this is how the game was played.
Yeah. I just don't know where it goes from here. Like, if you're going to start, like,
it's easy. How do you police this? I was asked this. I was asked this all goddamn day yesterday. How do you police this? Well, this is why I say it's going to be time. There either has to be something that happens now, or you just shut up and deal with it. Because after the precedent that Joe West set yesterday, does every umpire start to check the hats of pitchers as they're coming in from the bullpen? And do they take it upon themselves to say something and address it? Or do they wait for the team? And that's where the question has come in, is it was in Dan Bellino's hands and in his authority, and it was in Joe West's authority to make those calls or bring that to the attention of the game long before it was brought to their attention. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's what's being asked of them. Well, that is what has not happened for eons and eons, is it hasn't been enforced. So it is now ingrained in our DNA. It's ingrained, Jared. You're going to have to change the DNA of baseball players, of pitchers. And so that's why I pose the question. Is it now solely on the umpires? Are managers and staff members going to feel more liberated in addressing this? And that can only happen if they make sure that their house is clean, right? And so there's going to be a lot of conversations. I promise you. Managers try to get a feel for what's going on in their clubhouse to an extent without having to approach their players and go, hey, are you using this shit? Or, like, is this something that I'm going to have to worry about? Until they have that conversation, because that conversation is one that is going to have to be had moving forward. Otherwise, I can't raise the flag here. And if I can't raise the flag and the guy across the field can't raise the flag, then guess what? We're just going to keep moving along, because we know that the guys on the field, the umpires, we know that they're not going to enforce it. Or are they? That's what Joe West has just done.
Correct. Yep. We're now in a spot where you just don't know. And again, I just compared it earlier to Major League Baseball. Basically was like, hey, we're going to start cracking down on all the meth that's being trafficked on the streets. And then they just arrested a guy for smoking marijuana. And they were like, see, we got him. We're doing something about it. It's like, no, you're actually not. So we'll see how it pans out. And we'll see, I'm sure that others will be paying attention to spin rates with guys and seeing who is abandoning it because they don't want to get caught. But
somebody was like, well, they're cheating. Isn't that what they should be getting in trouble for? And I said, you know what that's like? That's like having Gallegos get picked out yesterday. For people that don't understand that, That's like you being on your own private property in a country setting, walking across a dirt fucking road and being stopped for jaywalking and getting a ticket. Like you're on your own property in the country on a one-way dirt road, and a cop comes out of nowhere and writes you a ticket for jaywalking. You're like, well, this is my own fucking property. What do you mean I'm jaywalking? Yeah, well, it's not safe, and we just, like, hold the fuck on. You have nothing else to do. There's nothing else that you could be policing right now. Nothing.
So let me ask you this as a former pitcher. Is this a fair analogy where you're burning down the highway right now? You're using sticky shit. Other guys are using sticky shit. You're speeding. Other cars are speeding. State trooper just pulled a guy over. So you're like, they're out here policing it. But I also know that they just pulled a guy over. So like, I feel like I'm safe to go because they're focused on that guy. Like they've already gotten their tickets for the day. So do you feel safer using it in your next start, knowing that they just bagged somebody right behind you?
No, this is that's why I said what I said, man. Like Joe West has created I'll say this. Pay attention to whether or not guys are grabbing their hats anymore. Here, let me show you. So this is how you see guys grab their hats today, right?
This is why you subscribe to the Starting Nine YouTube channel, by the way, folks.
They get their ball,
and
they're doing this with their hat.
Yep.
See how I'm grabbing it with my fingertips?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you'll start, and I've already watched them. You'll start to see guys grab their hats like this now, or like this
for like a change-up grip.
No. To keep their fingertips off of their hat. So that what's on their fingertips is not coming off in their hat and leaving a mark. So think about the inside part of your thumb, the webbing between like your thumb and your index finger.
Yeah.
That's how guys are trying to grab their hats now. And because they're trying to figure out, because it's a tick. It's like I told you, it's ingrained in our DNA, Jared. It's ingrained in our DNA. So every pitch you're doing this, right? Well, now you got to circumvent the system here because eyeballs are on you. And I've already watched it happen. And it's happening with guys who were targeted early as guys who could be potential users.
Yeah. You know what else I've noticed? So I think we're in a new age, new generation where everyone's watching in the social media world. At the beginning of the season, I saw a lot of, obviously they're not going to zoom in it on the broadcast and bring attention to it on the broadcast and talk about what we're seeing here with guys going to the glove, guys going to the hat. They're not going to do that. However, fans are watching these games and they're seeing guys go to the glove, go to the hat, and they're filming their TVs and tweeting it. And then those clips are going viral, being like, look at this guy, look at what he's doing. And I've noticed in the last 3 weeks or so that TV broadcasts are no longer showing the pitchers in between pitches. I've noticed that I've noticed that if you're watching a guy on a broadcast in between pitches, they're showing the third baseman spitting seeds. They're showing this guy out in left field. What's he doing? Oh, he's waving to the fans. That's nice. So the broadcasts are no longer showing pitchers in between pitches because they don't want to out their own guys. I have noticed that. It's a new recent development. I don't know if that's an instruction from, I don't know, the team or maybe the players are asking or something, but it's something that I've noticed.
You're a Goslings guy, huh, Jared?
I fucking love Goslings. I love it.
Hey, There's just so many other things to show the fans at the baseball game, Jared. Why are we so locked in on that guy at that moment? Like it's a moment of inaction.
Yeah. Right.
Like he's not pitching anything at the moment. So let's get eyeballs on something else.
Right. Yeah. That's one of the big complaints is that, the guys are taking 15, 30 seconds sometimes in between pitches. Let me see all the other stuff that's going. Don't show me the pitcher just fumbling around. Like show me what everyone else is up to.
Yeah, you want to see a guy tugging on the strings on his glove for what? Like you want to see his nervous ticks? Come on.
No.
The guy's dealing with pressure out there. He's trying to get a big league hitter out.
Right.
Come on.
Give him a break.
He's got a lot going on. Would you rather see a little kid smashing a hot dog?
Yeah.
That's what we're here for.
Let's see the skipper in the dugout. What's he doing? Is he throwing out some signs? What's he doing?
Yeah, exactly.
First base coach. Where they got a nice little handshake over there first. That's cool. Let's see it.
Yeah, I'm sure you got a hitter taking a fucking selfie around second. Like we don't need to hone in on the pitcher's glove.
Nope.
Nothing to see here.
Nothing to see at all. Nothing to see at all. I do love Goslings though.
You should.
Yeah,
I do.
You might already know that our sponsor, Goslings Rum, is the official rum of the Boston Red Sox. But did you know that June 9th is International Dark and Stormy Day? And speaking of the Astros, the Red Sox will be playing the Astros at Fenway the same day is International Dark and Stormy Day. Goslings is making it a dark and stormy day to remember for one lucky fan because they're giving away 4 premium level game tickets and dinner at the Dell Technologies Club on June 9th. All you got to do is register at goslingsrum.com/ballpark-giveaway.
Oh,
U.S. residents only, 21 plus, no purchase necessary. Again, that is goslingsrum.com/ballpark-giveaway. 4 premium level tickets plus dinner. Love that.
That's awesome. Fucking June 9th, International Dark and Stormy Day is going down. I believe I've got the day off on June 9th. Actually, that's probably a lie. I mean,
that's probably a lie.
That doesn't mean that I can't drink dark and stormies though, Jared.
Yeah, no. Yeah, there's, put it this way, Dallas. As long as no one's watching, you can do whatever you want.
You're damn right. No cameras on me, right? Oh, wait.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Speaking of watching, cameras on you, did you see the did we talk about this? The fights in the stands?
We haven't talked about this.
Because it feels like I was on the I was talking to some, that's what it was. I was talking to my buddy Max from Rocks in the Outfield last night because obviously the A's got the Halos in town this weekend. So I was talking with those guys and I tweeted this out. Pandemic plus cheating scandal plus full capacity equals 100% chaos.
Mm-hmm.
And that is precisely what has been going on in the Dodgers-Astros series.
Correct.
Absolute craziness. Can we talk about the arrival of the of the Dodgers fans?
So they had their own goddamn section.
Carrabis. These people, I'm trying to fucking find the name right now of this Twitter account. It's like a Dodger, the largest traveling fan base.
Is it the same one that got the Mookie billboard?
Yes. Pantone. Pantone 294. Shout out to @Pantone 294. PANTONE. The videos, like, dude, it is straight up soccer hooligan status. They are storming down the fucking road in Houston chanting, "Let's go Dodgers." I mean, there's hundreds of them. It's incredible. It is incredible. That is the fucking vibe I am here for. That right there, like, dude, they took over Minute Maid. Took it over. That was Dodger town.
They are not to be trifled with either. So it mostly has been a lot. There's a lot of Dodger fans in the mix as it pertains to the fights that have come out on Twitter. But I made an observation. I said, it feels like I'm not totally plugged in on hockey Twitter. I'll admit that. But like I follow the Barstool main handle and like they'll tweet all kinds of fights in the stands. I was like, I feel like more baseball fans are beating the shit out of each other over May baseball than hockey fans are fighting over the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Well, I just told you why, is because like, think about this specific scenario here. You're around more people than you've ever been around in the past year and a half. That's
not sport specific. I'm saying like I would say the stakes are much higher in the Stanley Cup playoffs and people aren't beating the piss out of each other.
No. The stakes are high. How many people feel like they've been cheated out of that opportunity though?
I mean,
in these specific situations,
the biggest knockout was a fucking Padres fan sleeping a Rockies fan.
Well, again, my point is these fans have not been around people, and now that they are, and granted, you're right. We're saying, well, Dallas, the NHL fans are now around people. Well, for the Dodgers specifically and the Astros specifically to have the lack of, public assimilation for the last year and a half, and to have the cheating scandal boiling and brewing for as long as it has been, this is the moment that it's all mixing together at the same time. That's where that comes from. But I think, like, I'll be honest, baseball fans, I think in general, on the whole, I'm going to say the average or the casual baseball fan, not as in tune with their sport as the casual hockey fan. Is that a fair assessment? And where I'm coming from here is I have done interviews before, like fake interviews with Giants fans, quote unquote, Giants baseball fans, and given them a list of 4 to 5 A's players and asked them who their favorite Giants player is. And not only do they not acknowledge that there are no Giants players on that list, but they'll inevitably pick an A's player, right? They'll give me a name. And that's what I mean. Like, I don't know how many hockey fans that would happen to on the same level that happens with baseball fans. So you get just some random wearing a jersey that pops something off and says something that they probably shouldn't be saying. And maybe that's said to a diehard fan who's like, yo, I've been waiting for this moment. Right. I flew to fucking Houston for this moment. I was asking
one thing.
I was telling everybody on the airplane, I wish a motherfucker would. And guess what? You're that motherfucker.
Yeah. I mean, the dude had like an infant child with him, and he was like, you know what? Like, I can't let him get away with shitting on Kershaw. You're about to catch these hands.
Not only does homeboy have an infant child,
he's got a pregnant wife.
Pregnant ride or die is chucking blows too.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Like, you just completely disregard the child who's sitting there. And I felt terrible. Like, and if I'm being completely honest, I didn't even see the kid the first
me neither
times I watched the video.
No, me neither.
Like, that was not even on my radar. And then, like, it was brought to and I was like, oh,
I mean, there's like 16. There was more angles for this than like the fucking Kennedy assassination.
We got more angles for this than they got in fucking New York to help replay.
Yeah, we had a ton of angles. I didn't see the kid until, I mean, it was probably 2-3 hours after the fact. And then I don't know if you saw this, but the dude that ran on the field completely naked during the Nats rain delay.
That's phenomenal.
You didn't see it?
I did. I saw it.
Head first slide into the tube, came out the other end, got arrested ass naked.
What I'd like to draw attention to is, are we just going to downplay how swiftly he popped up off the grass? Like, go back and watch the video. And right before he gets in the tunnel, like, he runs and he falls. He actually fell ass first, I think.
He did.
And then as he pops up, like, watch how quickly he pops up. It's very like, he's just fucking
definitely a former ball player. Yeah, that's like a pop-up slide at second.
Yeah, I said he's probably just somebody who wanted to help out, and he heard the grounds crew ask about a hose.
Mm-hmm.
So he's bringing the hose. I got your hose. Got it. Where the hose at? Right here.
Yeah. Well, now he has to register as a sex offender, so I don't know how much that's worth.
Not worth it. Probably not worth it. No.
There was another still shot I didn't see until this morning of the Dodger fan that fucking pummeled the Astros fan, getting arrested. He was in cuffs getting led up the stairs while like the baby mama is pregnant and holding his child, like wave goodbye to daddy. He's going to jail for assault.
Oh my God.
It's crazy.
Yeah. How's that day today? How are we doing today? Because depending on how it went, I'm gonna guess because homeboy was leaking that he squared up.
The Astros fan?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that. I saw him hit him in the back of the head. I didn't see him hit him in the face.
No, I think he caught one like right on the side of the temple, and that's what melted him. Like you could see he catches one very early. He catches a firm right, the Astros fan, and just gets melted. Yeah. And that's where you can see him like check out for a minute. He get in my opinion, he gets knocked out. Like his head fucking boom, takes a turn right into the seats, and he's like, I'm not here right now.
Well, I think the worst part was after the shot to the temple, and now he's like bent over the seats, and the Dodger fan just starts bashing him in the back of the head. And as he's getting punched in the head, he's headbutting the fucking railing of the seats. He's just bouncing his skull like a basketball. And it's like, all right, dude, call the fight. Like you won, dude.
Yeah. Well, it's because the dude behind the Astros
his
fan,
worst friend in the world.
How about this? He's throwing random punches at the guy, but at the same time keeps pushing his friend into the dude. Like, hey, don't run into me. Like, you're serving the purpose I need you. Like, you're getting hit, and I'm trying to hit him to prevent you from getting hit. So, like, let's just keep doing that. But I'm not trying to get hit.
Yeah, it was a bad scene.
What the fuck was that?
It was even worse when I saw like Astros fans on Twitter were just like denouncing the guy that got beat up. Instead of being like, fuck that Dodger fan, they were like, we don't claim him. Like, dude got beat up and just kicked out of his own fan base.
And the guy at the very end in the video, the Astros fan who comes flying out of nowhere, like
it was him.
Yeah, if you slow it down, like I'm expecting like some Superfly Jimmy snuck a fucking face plant on somebody. He's coming in hot out of nowhere to let the authorities know who it was.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Get the fucking beat it, Eddie Haskell.
Someone tweeted me a screenshot of that dude pointing at the Dodger fan, and the caption was like, this dude came from the other side of the stadium just to rat, and Jurickson Profar liked that tweet. Jurickson Profar does not appreciate rats.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like we're gonna continue to see a lot of this. It kind of makes me excited for the postseason. I feel like people are gonna be emotions are gonna be high. People just don't know how to act in public, and
dude, I really people don't know how to act in public. That is
no.
It's shocking. It is jarring. It is jarring.
Is it like, shocking though? Like couldn't we have predicted this, that we were locked in cages for over a year, and then we were already assholes before the pandemic. Now we're caged animals released into society once again. Yeah.
Like, let's be real, Dodgers fans, and on a serious note, Dodgers fans have had issues in the past
for sure
like this. We all know about the especially out here in the Bay Area, the Brian Stowe incident, the Giants fan who was absolutely pummeled and is dealing with the after effects today. So when it's Dodger fans, you can understand why people are like, oh, again, blah, blah, blah. But to your point, the Rocky fan, and that knockout, Jared, was as
I didn't even post
cold,
that one.
It was as cold blood, and when I say cold blooded, I mean assassin like, because like that's and this is why I have to be careful about the friends that I go out with, is because a lot of my friends operate like that. Well, and some military guys, but they just don't, like, it doesn't register to them that you're probably going to do work here, and maybe you should de-escalate this, and maybe you should not right now. They will just walk up to you and fucking fire on you. And whether they're right or wrong, like, there's a time and a place for that stuff, right?
Sure.
And you feel like left field, maybe not, or right field, maybe not the time and place for that. But dude was like, yo, I've heard enough, and now I'm coming to shut you. I told you I was going to shut you up. I told you if you said it again, I was coming for you.
Yeah.
And you said it again. And you thought that sitting next to Grammy and Pappy was going to fucking stop this. That's not it. So he served him the business and stepped back and was like, anybody else?
Yeah.
Anybody else?
That's why 2018 was such a weird spot for me, because, when I'm going into Dodger Stadium and Yankee Stadium, and you automatically have a target on your back. It's not just like, oh, I might have a few drinks and I might mix it up with someone and get into a fight. It's like just my mere presence is an invitation for some sort of physical altercation. And I'm in a spot where it's like, I know that I'm just fucking around. Like we're making jokes and we're making video content here, but these drunk people don't. Yeah, the drunk people don't understand that, or sometimes don't understand that. And I'm on camera the entire time, so like I can never throw the first punch. But it's like, what am I to do if someone attacks me? Like, am I allowed to fight back? Like, do I or I have to like I automatically no matter what, you just
curl up and I'm gonna fucking throw some haymakers. All right?
Like it's basically like I'm in a position where against what my brain might want to do in a heated moment, I have to de-escalate because I mean, what else am I to do? I cannot throw a first punch. Like the other thing too that I've thought about, like what would you do if someone spit on you? It's like you've been spit on, and now like I can't crack you in the face, even though like that's what my brain wants to do.
Yes, you can, because number one, that's assault.
Spitting on someone's assault, so you can like,
believe it. All right.
Good to know.
That's a fact.
Breaking news: the Red Sox just optioned Franchi Cordero. I hope that means the corresponding move is Jarren Duran. I don't know anything. But it would be nice. He's hitting like fucking 450 with 20 bombs in like 5 games. Anyways, Corey Kluber. Yeah. Bad news. Ouch. Bad news on the Klubot. He'll be out for 2 months. And I just want to clear something up here, because I was getting a lot of Yankee fans coming at me on Twitter. So what night was that? Was that Tuesday that he started? I want to say, yeah, I think it was Tuesday. So he comes out of the game in the 3rd inning. I was not watching the game. Hubs tweeted Corey Kluber gets exited the game in the 3rd inning at 60 pitches. And I quote tweeted it, and I took the clip from his reaction video to the no-hitter when he's like, Corey Kluber, oh my God. So I quote tweeted his tweet, and I used that clip. Like, I'm making fun of Hubs.
Right.
At the time, no one knew if Kluber was injured, because when I read that tweet, Hubs didn't mention an injury. He just was like, Corey Kluber exits 60 pitches in 3 innings. And to like, I read that, and I'm like, well, this is a guy that's pitched 1 inning last year and didn't pitch the year before that. And he's 34, 35, and he just threw a complete game his last time out. So if he's at 60 pitches in 3 innings, that's high stress. I read that as like precautionary removal of the game. Like, let's not burn him into the ground. Like, he's been good. Let's protect him. And then it comes out like, I don't know, 45 minutes, an hour later that he is injured. And I got all these Yankee fans being like, wow, celebrating an injury, this and that, blah. I was like, dude, no. Like, I've celebrated 1 injury in my life. I've celebrated 1 injury, and it was Roberto Ozuna. I said, good. I hope his fucking elbow explodes. Fuck that guy. That was the only injury I've ever celebrated. Anytime, like, I get, the rivalry's fun, Red Sox, Yankees. If a guy gets fucking hurt on the Yankees, I'm not happy about that. And I've said that a billion. Like, how many examples do I have to give you? I would not
let you celebrate that shit here in front of me.
No,
like, we don't do that.
Yeah. How many times do I have to provide an example of the opposite? Like, I think like when Aaron Judge got hurt in 18 or 19, whatever it was, I sent out a tweet being like, speedy recovery to Aaron Judge. Like, the rivalry is way more fun when he's a part of it. Like, I don't fucking wish injury on anybody, and I wasn't celebrating. I was making fun of that dork Hubs. Anyways, so Corey Kluber is going to be out for the next 2 months. So when we go into the season talking about the Yankees and their rotation has been outstanding. They had the 35, 36 scoreless inning streak with their rotation. The narrative was it's Garrett Cole and a bunch of question marks. And Corey Kluber, to this point, has not been a question mark. He's been great. But part of the question mark that remained was his health.
Right.
So the question mark was still there. Like, yes, he's been great, but can he continue to do it? The answer is now no. Jameson Taillon has been okay. The home run ball has been an issue for him. Domingo Germán, fuck him too. He's pitched pretty good. Jordan Montgomery, flashes of being pretty good. He's had some shit starts. He's had some really good starts. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like if the postseason had started last week, Corey Kluber is your number 2 starter, and you feel pretty damn good about that. So I don't know where they're going to go innings wise, with Kluber being on the shelf for now 2 months.
Well, they've got to find somebody. They have got to find somebody. They're going to be banging the phones because I don't know that there are internal options. I don't know that you got guys that you're comfortable with just like plugging and playing in there. Don't know that that's a thing. So not only are they hurt here, but you got the Voit news as well. This is just not what the New York Yankees needed to hear.
Yeah, and the whole thing about Luke Voit and why this is different from other years, because there's been other seasons where Giancarlo Stanton goes down, and you're like, well, that's a big blow, but the offense is going to be just fine. Aaron Judge goes down. Well, you can lose him, and you still got Stanton and Voit. Then you lose Voit for the start of the year, and now you lose him again. I mean, the Yankees offense, for having the reputation of being the Bronx Bombers, they have not been outstanding by any means. I mean, they've been guided by their starting pitching.
Well, Luke Voigt's a guy who's helped carry this team when the aforementioned Stanton and Judge have been down, have been hurt. Correct. This is a guy I jokingly said he had to have fucking knee surgery because he was already carrying the Yankees with a bad foot. That's why he had to have his knee operated on. He's carrying all of that weight. So when this dude goes down, you start to look around and go, okay, well, like how are we going to do this? How are we going to put this together? If we're not getting the consistent production out of guys that we need here, and the stalwart, the guy who's been able to keep us afloat, is struggling and is hurt. Like the grade 2 oblique strain, Jared, that's a while.
How long are we talking? Like 6 to 8?
Yep.
Somewhere in there.
And again, Luke, maybe a little bit of a freak. So depending on how he's able to bounce back, but that is just such a bitch of an injury, dude. It is because if you come back too soon, you're at a high risk to re-injure, and now it's another 6 to 8. Like it's not like I tweaked it a little bit, so I'm going to need a couple days. Because you can't like put it like this. You got a bad hammy, you could play with a bad hammy, 70%, 80%, right? You just don't go and get it. You just don't run your hardest. You are able to control that. As a swing mechanic, you can't just take an 80% swing. It's not going to happen. Can't happen. The adrenaline, trying to get to a certain pitch in a situation, like you're not just going to try to get to an elevated fastball or try to cover the inside part of the plate with a 70 to 80% swing. Just doesn't exist. So you could be 80% healthy and tweak it, and that'll take you right back to square one.
Right.
8 weeks ago where you started this whole bullshit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously we wish a speedy recovery to both. But yeah, I think that's a big blow, losing Luke Voit. You've had the Stanton injury, and this is a team that is different from in years past where they can absolve those blows and continue to chug along. I mean, those are 2 big blows. When we talk about, like, to Alice's point about Luke Voit carrying the Yankees last year. I know it was a shortened season, but it was a different playoff format as well. If this year's playoff format existed last year, the Yankees don't even make the playoffs. So Luke Voit carried the Yankees to a point where they got in. Like you don't have that right now, and you haven't had that. So with Kluber being out, he's been great, and Luke Voit with the ability to carry an offense on one foot, that's 2 big blows to the Yankees. So we'll see how they they navigate this. I'm sure they'll find a way. They have the resources to go out and plug some of these holes. But yeah, those are 2 guys that you definitely do not want to move forward without. And the same goes for the fucking Braves, because this is a team that has been bit big time by the injury bug. And they are also in a position where they cannot afford to lose key guys. I mean, they've already lost Soroka for an amount of time. Yanoa for 2 months or whatever that's going to be. This is a team that keeps eating bullets, just eating bullets. And where the Braves are different from the Yankees play in a division where there are some big boys. I mean, even the Blue Jays, who are in 4th place, are still a big time player. And then you have Tampa with the best record in the league, the Red Sox right behind them, by a half game. So where the Braves kind of benefit a little bit is that they are in a very winnable division despite having a very mediocre record. That division is still very much up for grabs. I feel like whoever gets hot at one point is just going to run away with it, or not run away with it, but take it. It's yours for the taking.
That can't happen without guys. That can't happen without a guy like Marcell Ozuna. Though.
Correct. Like that's why
you can't go and take it without that guy.
that signing in the offseason was so important, bringing that guy back, because I mean, Braves fans will tell you up front, like, yeah, he was the ingredient that took the Braves from being the baby Braves to like the we're fucking here to win it Braves. And not having him for the next 6 weeks, he slid into third, and he kind of like reached his hand out and got Devers' cleat and just bent it. I mean, it looked dislocated.
Dirty play by Devers. Absolutely filthy, dirty, complete scumbag.
Slide into someone's foot.
Play by.
I don't think he was wearing the mitt either. That's why like people make fun of people for not wearing the oven mitt, but like that's why you wear the oven mitt. Yeah.
Well, not only that, but like, and it helps because the way the guys slide in, you're not trying to hit your fingertip into that bag. The oven mitt forces you to keep your hands together.
Right.
It puts your fingers at an upward angle. It makes the most sense.
And I know Buck Showalter was having a fucking mental breakdown about this. I think he's on MLB Network that I saw it, but he hates the oven mitt because he's like, it gives the player like an extra inch of reach. Like if you're sliding in head first, like it gives you like a little bit extra to be safe. And it's like, all right, well, if it's not illegal, then why aren't everyone doing it? First of all, it keeps you from fucking breaking your finger like Marcell Ozuna. And if it gives you the extra reach to be safe, then I mean, as a manager, you should tell all your players like, hey, if you're not doing this, you're not trying hard enough.
Well, because there's guys on the team that are just not sliding head first. There's guys that are going to tell you, like, nope, not me. Head first. No, that's a trip to the IL, but not happening. And then there's other guys, your base stealers, your base runners that are more prone to lay out and extend and try to get that bag, because that's how you can help yourself directionally, sliding head first. Maybe you can, invoke the swim move. You can deke guys. But if you don't have that skill set to be able to slide, because that's another lost art form, man.
Yeah.
Sliding.
Yeah.
Like if you don't know what you're doing.
I actually, who was that? I think it was our boy Uke was talking about that on the pregame yesterday. And he was like, that's not something that you really practice, like sliding. Like he was like, spring training, they bring out the slide pad and, you're sliding in with your hands up and a wee and all that. But like, you're not practicing head first slides into bases in spring training. And if you're not practicing it in spring training, that's not something that, before a fucking 7:00 start, you're just out there at 1 p.m. diving into bags. Like, that's just not how it goes.
But I can tell you that they do practice these days. They do practice getting out, like coming down third, getting out far enough to be able to hit the deck and slap the plate with your hand.
Yeah.
Because the lane that is being given to you, or that is supposed to be given to you,
because
sometimes
the catcher,
gets compromised.
Mm-hmm.
And so how do you combat replay that is not going to help you on that call, as well as the catcher taking over space that he technically isn't given the right to until he has the ball? How do you combat that? We figure out how to get a little deeper. We figure out how to make ourselves inaccessible. So we slide feet first, way the fuck over here, touching home plate with our left hand. Let's work on that. And it is worked on.
It is. Last note here. Bryce Harper is on the injured list with a bruised forearm. And if I know Bryce Harper, I know that a bruised forearm is not something that is going to take him away from game action. So I think
they're probably covering up like a compound fracture that they're not telling anybody about. That's the only way you keep this dude out of the game.
That, or I just think that he needs to figure it out. He needs like the time to figure some shit out. He's 2 for his last 25 with 13 strikeouts over his last
breather, baby.
Yeah. I mean, and the Phillies are also 1-6 in those 7 games. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all if this was more just like, hey, like, take a little breather, work on some things, come back, and you'll be, because I mean, before this stretch that he's been struggling, Harper was hitting .318 with a 1030 OPS through his first 31 games of the season. Then he's just been slumping real hard since then. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was just a little bit of a breather.
OPS is down like below 900 now, I think.
Not great. Dallas, do you use Manscaped on your pubes?
When they come back, I do.
Mm-hmm. Are you you lasering down there or what?
Oh, no. What, are you kidding me? The lawnmower.
Right.
The lawnmower, that some bitch goes to town. It's not like I have to hit him every 3 days. No.
Yeah.
Manscaped is the only men's brand dedicated to the below the waist grooming that is going to give you everything you're looking for. And we all know that what makes the waterproof trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0 that I've been telling you about, different from all the other trimmers. This son of a bitch rolls. You want to talk about spin rate, boys? This thing rolls at 7,000 RPMs.
Oh,
yeah, that's humming. And it's also got the feature, the skin safe technology. So you're not like decapitating your own nutsack.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't want that. That's bad news. You don't want your testicles looking like your great grandfather just got done shaving in the mirror. That is not what we're after here. And it's also got a new multifunction on-off switch. You can engage a travel lock as well, so that you're not hearing the in the overhead bin. That's never fun. Try explaining that one. Yeah, it's the lawnmower. Yeah, long black cylinder. Yeah, it's the lawnmower. Whatever, pal. It's created for jet setters just like you. The Lawnmower 4.0 gives you the ability to turn the 400K LED spotlight, 400K LED spotlight on and off. So maybe you're in a jam, little tight spot. Maybe you're in the bathroom at the club. You brought the lawnmower and you're like, look, this is going down right now, right outside the food truck, but I've got to be prepared. Don't have to worry. Plus, they got additional guards. They got links now, sizes 1 through 4. So let's say it's been a while. Let's say things are getting a little aggressive down there. Maybe you're looking for the fade up. We got you. Plus, I love investing in the new best technology and advancements that you can have. I'm a big gadget guy. So I'm blown away when I got this thing in my hands. Also, how about the crop exfoliator? You want to get the complete package? The Manscaped Ultra Smooth package is a 3-step kit to help keep your family jewels shining. Step 1, crop exfoliator infused with ingredients that can soothe, clear, and clean the skin on and around your groinal region, feeling refreshed, reducing the risk of ingrown hairs by your delegates. That, we all know what that feels like. I actually had a friend, Carrabis, true story.
Mm-hmm.
I had a buddy call me and tell me that he was on his way to the hospital. He had no idea what was wrong with him. His wife and my nephew had to assist him to the vehicle. Like, he thought something major was wrong under there. Major, right? Like, he was in a bad way. And they get to the fucking doctor, and my nephew FaceTimes me because they are laughing hysterically. The doctor is even laughing now because it's all a joke, and we're all laughing at him because he thought shit was really bad. All he had was a fucking ingrown. He had ingrown hair that he couldn't walk. Jared,
but an ingrown hair in that region is bad news.
He couldn't walk. The doctor lanced it and like felt great right after.
Yeah, that's
the fact that the ingrown hair brought the grown man
to his
his knees. Couldn't walk. His wife and my nephew had to assist him out of the house. That's fucking pure comedy. And it's because he didn't have the 3-step system.
You got to go with the 3-step system, but you got to have some feel.
You got to have some feel. And that's where the crop gel comes in.
Right.
So when you're shaving, look, it's not just, you're not rubbing 2 fucking sheets of sandpaper together.
No.
Like, that's not how we want to go about this. So you hit it with the crop gel and then boom, time to shave. The crop shaver, designed for shaving the groin area with confidence. You realize that all 3 of these vegan, cruelty-free, and sulfate-free products are included, so you know your manhood is in good hands. Like, even when it's in your hands, it's still in others' hands. And that's 2 pairs of good hands when you think about it. So right now, please stop imagining your dad has it covered all over his balls, because he probably doesn't. But if you know that he does need
big
it,
baby powder guy.
Yeah, big baby powder guy.
You can tell when he does his maintenance, because there's fucking baby powder everywhere.
Just a cloud out of the bathroom. Hey, what's going on in there?
Yeah,
huh?
when my dad's like done with his maintenance, it looks like LeBron took a shit in my bathroom. Just fucking
it looks like LeBron's getting ready for game 1 of the finals.
yeah.
Love it. Well, hopefully we can get Papa Rocket dialed in, because we can get 20% off right now, free shipping with the code STARTING at manscaped.com. That's manscaped.com. Promo code STARTING, and that's going to get you 20% off. You got it? 20% off plus free shipping with the code STARTING at manscaped.com. It's dad season. It's dad bod season. It's time to smooth out the dad bods in your life.
Love that. We did touch on Joe West in the whole the Schilt situation earlier, but do you have any things that you want to add to Joe West becoming the king of the mountain for Major League umpires?
No, I just I mean, he's
I thought that was going to be a simple no,
not really. I mean, what is there to say? You, at some point in time, you give a guy his due respect. I definitely feel like Joe West has been hanging on for 10, 15 years too long. Like, he's been allowed to hang on for 10, 15 years too long. But credit to the man.
Those albums, brother.
For those of you who don't know, the vest that is worn underneath the umpire's gear, some wear them, not all. I believe the majority of them do. That is called a West vest. That is Joe West's personal invention, the West vest. So he's made his mark on baseball, and this last move by Joe West very well may be the mark that he gets remembered for most, if things play out the way I think they will. But this dude's been a part of a lot, man.
He has. I want to say, correct me if I'm wrong, I want to say he had second base for the Dave Roberts steal, and that was before replay. So if he gets that wrong, I probably don't have a career. So thank you to Joe West.
This is how long he's been around. The first game he umpired behind the plate, Phil Niekro was pitching to Dale Murphy.
Yeah.
Like, that's a while ago. That's a while ago.
Checking the box score right now. I want to say it was Joe West.
He's had some moments, like the Mad Bum stare down. You know, for as much shit as Joe has gotten from me, from everybody, moments like that are kind of cool, because the whole Cowboy Joe mantra, the whole Cowboy Joe facade, and, you know, Mad Bum being the surly old school competitor that he is and the country guy that he is, both those dudes just staring at each other. And then the showdown, quiet little head nod from each one so that they can get back to business. Like, it's just, those are little moments in the game that I think you do have to try to appreciate.
So I'm looking at the box score right now. It says that Joe West had third base. I don't think I'm pretty confident he made the call at second base.
Well, is it odd that they would be out of position?
I mean, he was directly in front of second base.
And Jared, they've got 19 fucking umpires for the postseason, dude.
I know, but if you're the third base umpire, why would you be making a safer out call for a stolen base at second base? I'm watching the video right now. It's the whole fucking clip, so I'm scanning through it. I don't want to make sure I get this right because, yeah, that's Joe West. What the fuck's he doing at second base?
I don't know. Making calls.
Making calls.
Making calls. Joe's like, I got this. Joe, you're supposed to be at third. Nah, I got this.
I got it. Yeah, I mean, that's... Anyways. I remember there was... I can't remember the year. Maybe it's like 2005, 2006, around there. And it might have been like the ninth inning. Maybe that's Joe West. What is he doing? He's the third base umpire. He's standing at second base. Anyways, I want to say it was like ninth inning. Red Sox are down a run, and someone stole second base. Catcher fires it down to second. Terrible throw, and the runner, if it goes into center field, the runner gets third easily and then probably scores on like a fucking sac fly or something. Joe West just doesn't get out of the way. Ball hits him right in the fucking gut. He just eats it. Ball stays in the infield and runner doesn't advance. And then like there was a sac fly to get the runner over to third, and then they lose with like the tying run at third base. So I'll never forgive. I don't even remember who they were playing, what the circumstances were of that baseball game. I just remember being very upset that Joe West's gut cost the Red Sox that baseball game.
What about the time that Joe fell down behind home plate and like fell on a catcher and couldn't get up? I'm trying to, do you know what I'm talking about?
That sounds vaguely familiar. Yeah.
He like fell down and had to brace himself on the catcher and obviously couldn't do it, didn't do it. And the catcher's like laying there like, hey, can you get the fuck off me at some point in time, please?
Please?
Oh, no. You know who he fell on? He fell on Rajay
Davis?
That's, yes.
Huh.
Yes.
I mean, what other fucking Rajay would there be? Wow. Okay. Yeah, Joe West has had some moments. He's had some moments. I want to say also, was Joe West the home plate umpire for the A-Rod Veritek brawl? I want to say like there are some shots of A-Rod and Veritek in each other's faces, and Joe West is just chilling there like, come on, guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Phillies Mets. The Phillies Mets, all right? And Rajay slides into home, and Real Muto tags him, and Rajay ends up sliding into Joe West. And it's because Real Muto, kicks over into the lane, and Rajay, trying to get around him head first, doesn't have anywhere to go and ends up sliding right in to Joe. And he hits Joe in the legs, and Joe comes fucking tumbling down. Oh my God. It is quite a scene. It is quite, and he's just like stuck on him. He's just laying on him. And Rajay's like, guy, can you get off me, please?
All right, so that's enough praise for Joe West. But he's a legend. He is. Whether you love him or you hate him or you're indifferent or you're in between, you have moments where you can find entertainment value in Joe West. Congratulations on umpiring more games than anyone else in baseball history. Zebra. Think about all the quarantine purchases that you made. I made a shit ton, just dumb shit. Oh, by the way, Dallas, I think I'm going to buy an electric scooter.
What kind?
I don't know. I don't know yet. I haven't. So what I did was,
I've got connections. I'm just telling you.
Okay. All right. Let's discuss, because what I
have
did
you seen my scooter?
Yeah. Didn't Bomel get one too?
Yeah, I got one for Bomel. Yeah.
We get so we need to talk. We need to talk then, because what happened was my trash room is at the end of the hallway, and I'm at the other end of the hallway because, not to brag, corner unit, it is what it is. Trash room, it's a hike. it's a hike to get to the trash room. And also, there's a Starbucks that's close to my apartment. So I kind of wanted to scoot there. So I bought a Razor scooter and I was like, why is it $30? And then I like price matched. I Googled like Razor scooter, and then like Target's website had it for $30. I was like, all right, so I'm not getting ripped off here. It shows up. It's a scooter for ants. It's a child's scooter. So I was like, okay.
So perfect size.
Yeah. So I was like, all right. Then I type in Razor scooter for adults, and it's $100. I was like, okay. Not the price range I'm crazy about, because I was like, all right, well, if I'm spending $100, then what's an electric scooter go for? I was like, all right, so it's a couple extra $100. So now I'm in the market for an electric scooter. Like, if you're going to invest in a scooter, then invest in a scooter. So that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Scooter. So you want a smaller scale?
No, I want like an adult size scooter.
No, when I say small, like my scooter, I've got a sidecar on my scooter. I
saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, like my scooter is a big boy. It's the best of the best.
Yeah.
The most fully capable scooter on the planet.
Yeah, I just want but
they have smaller versions, like one that you can stand up on that's motorized, one
that's
that
what
you
I want,
can sit down on that's motorized.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, like you could take the sidecar off of mine and just roll regular. Like I take that thing on the golf course, take that thing on the beach.
Yeah, I just
want to hold that thing will hold a fully stocked ice chest on the back of it, as well as my golf clubs.
Yeah, I just want a standard scooter just for
fucking sound system on it as well. Awesome sound system.
Well, can I put a basket on it?
Yeah, for
because
sure.
if I'm gonna go get coffees with it, so
Yeah,
I can't be like holding coffees and fucking
multiple accessory options. Like I had a cargo box. There's a cup holder right on the front of it.
Oh, I need that.
So like,
all right.
So like you go and stop and get your mail. Boom. You can throw your mail in the cargo, in the cargo holder. Done deal. You got your big ass triple, whatever the hell you're sucking down. You can throw that right in the cup holder in front of you, and it's as convenient as it could be.
This is exactly what I need. Yeah, because my mail room is outside of my building, so I got to scoot down to go get my fucking mail, scoot over to get a coffee, scoot to take my trash out. So I need the cup holder. I need the basket option. Like if I'm gonna be going to get packages, need somewhere to put that.
Yeah, that's easily doable. Very easily doable.
Can't wait. All right. You guys got a customer.
I gotta ask you. You see these? You a hat guy? You're not a hat guy. You're not a big.
Not a hat guy, but I am a zebra guy.
You are a zebra guy.
Yeah. So the whole thing about zebra, the late night pizza deliveries, the mini succulent trios, the online trainer you ghosted after 2 weeks. Then there's one of your biggest purchases of the year, insurance.
Yes.
Americans overpaid on car and home insurance by billions every year. That's money that could be spent on more retail therapy. That's where the Zebra can help you. The Zebra is the nation's leading insurance comparison site for car and home insurance. In minutes, you can compare policies from every major provider for free, all on one independent marketplace. After a few questions, the Zebra pairs people with right insurance company for them, helping everyone save time and money. Buy online or over the phone with one of their licensed insurance agents. There are no hidden fees or fine print about your personal information. Best of all, the Zebra has no stake in the policy you choose. They're just there to find the coverage that's right for you. Make insurance your smartest purchase yet. Visit thezebra.com/starting. That is Zebra, ZEBRA.com/starting. What were you saying?
Hats.
Yeah,
I know
I'm
you
not a hat
caught
guy.
wind of the. I know you're not a hat guy. I'm a hat guy. I like hats. I know you caught wind of the new era. The new era lids. Have you seen these? The new era came out with, not the new era, excuse me. New era came out with their local market caps. Local market caps. These are hats that would, one would think would depict and emblemize the areas, the neighborhoods from which these ballparks or these markets come from, right? These teams, where they're at. That is just.
You're about to say something about like a Stockton hat or something?
Oh, no, not at all. Because they do actually, they had area codes on these hats.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where it kind of got bad. really bad really quickly is some of these hats had area codes on them that aren't even affiliated with the organization. Other hats just completely omitted area codes that were supposed to be a part of that organization or that neighborhood. And it's just like the Oakland A's hat, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
The Oakland A's hat has palm trees and a fucking taco on it.
That seems like a San Diego hat.
But that's an Oakland A's hat with one area code. Like, it's just such a bad miss. Such a bad miss. So bad, in fact, that New Era was like, all right, we get it. Bad look. Bad idea. We're going to pull them. They have pulled the line.
So, I mean, that is a San Diego hat. Like that's palm trees and a taco.
Yeah.
That's San Diego. I mean, the taco options at Petco Park are better than the taco options in most just major cities, and it's ballpark food. What would you have preferred on the Oakland hat? Like a shank and an empty bank account?
Well, I don't know what that's about.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's about.
Mm-hmm.
No, probably. I mean, give me some cranes. Maybe give me the BART system.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Give me the Coliseum.
You want the Coliseum on the hat? I mean, it's going to be dated real quick.
I mean, hey, not as quickly as these got dated, bud.
Yeah.
Because they're fucking done.
Yeah, maybe throw like the Mandalay Bay on there.
Yeah, no, Oakland, we could have thrown up a vaccination site, because that's what was going on in the parking lot of the Coliseum.
Yeah. Maybe some raw sewage.
A week ago. Again, I don't know where this is coming from. Like, there's no need for these attacks.
Yeah. That's cool.
What would a Boston hat have? Some fucking chowder?
I've never had chowder before. I've never even had it.
Tea bags. You're not a real Bostonian.
No, I just don't like. I don't. I mean, I love seafood. I don't like anything that's soupy. Makes me want to fucking blow my brains out. I hate that shit. What would a Boston one? No.
Like stew? You don't like stew?
I like beef stew. That's not a soup. That's not a soup. Don't even get me started. This will turn into a whole debate that spills over to Twitter and it'll be a bloodbath. Beef stew is not a soup. That's not a soup.
It's in the soup family.
It's a cousin, but it's definitely not a soup.
But you can't just disregard like it's just like, how do you eat
it? With a spoon in a bowl.
Okay.
But it's not
How do you eat soup? How do you eat soup?
That's different. That's like saying you eat soup somewhere somehow. No. That's like saying like like if you have sushi.
Jared rolls his soup in a tortilla.
No. That's like saying if you eat sushi with chopsticks, that anything that you eat with chopsticks is sushi. That's not true. That's what you're trying to say. That's what you're trying to say. Yeah, it is. Beef stew is not a soup. I'm not going to engage in this. I'm not engaging. Nope. It's not a soup. It's not. I'll call my mom right now.
So if I eat Cheerios with my fucking chopsticks, I'm that's what you're telling me?
Oh, great example. All right. So if you eat your Cheerios with milk in a bowl with a spoon, and I have mac and cheese with in a bowl with a spoon, is mac and cheese cereal?
Well, no, it's mac and cheese.
Okay, so beef stew is not a soup.
No, but no, it is. It's part of the soup family. That's
no, it's
what
not.
We've decided.
All right, then the mac and cheese is part of the fucking cereal family.
You want to put that like that's your rationale.
Mm-hmm.
Your rationale puts.
I'm
mac
making
and cheese
great
in the
points right
cereal
now.
family.
The sushi point I felt good about, but the mac and cheese one I feel way better about. Mac and cheese is not cereal. Beef stew is not a soup.
No, you're on the record as telling the world that mac and cheese and cereal, when eaten out of a bowl with a spoon, are the exact same thing.
Yeah, ice cream is also a big cereal.
So if I eat ice cream with a knife and fork, I might as
Who
well
does
just
that?
order a 24-ounce porterhouse. Right?
Who does
That's what
that?
you're
Have
telling
you ever
me.
seen someone eat ice cream with a fork? Unless it's
No,
ice cream
but-
cake.
No, but based on your theory,
But you wouldn't
here,
have ice cream
eating-
cake in a bowl. You would have it on a plate.
Eating anything with a knife and a fork would also make it anything else I eat. with
This
a
is
knife
your
and a fork.
point that I'm poking holes in. You think just
No.
because it's in a bowl and you have it with a spoon that it's soup. It's not true.
No, I merely asked.
Beef stew is
how
its
you
own
would
thing.
be
It's
eating these
independent. Beef stew
It's-
doesn't belong to any family. Beef stew is the rogue family member.
Like, is there there's other stews out there?
Yeah, but beef stew is very specific. It's its own.
Only because you've specified that it's beef.
Yeah,
For no other reason is it different though.
correct.
Okay. All right. So you're a soup guy.
No, I hate soup. I hate soup. I'm getting the rest of my sleeve. This is the final thoughts part of the podcast. If you haven't figured that out, I am getting my sleeve, that one spot filled in. Do you have any recommendations what I should put there? I have no idea what I'm going to put there. I just know I want to fill it up.
What spot? Let me see your spot. Let me see the on the elbow.
Yeah, there's. It's a decent spot. I just can't do anything like super detailed because there's a little piggy in the way.
You already have do you already have a music note?
No, I don't.
What about a large music note with the lyrics of a verse you might like?
Ooh, or a
like
sound
like,
wave.
You know, a sound wave. Yeah, totally. You know what's really cool? Sound wave. That's funny. I'm going to show you something. I'm going to let you guys in on something personal here.
Oh, okay.
This is my favorite gift ever. Ever, 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 ever.
Did I give it to you?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
My wife did. And you see what this is?
Yeah, that's a sound wave.
Yeah, you know what that is?
That's probably like a ultrasound of one of your children.
That's her saying, I love you.
Aw, Dallas.
And I actually, I thought about this, getting that tattooed on my ear, like in my ear.
In your ear.
Yeah.
You should get it on your neck. Don't be a bitch.
Well, I thought about getting it on my neck, and I actually had the artist draw it out on my neck, and it just looks like a fucking train track.
Got it.
Because if I put it like
You should put it on your throat.
if I put it horizontally, well, if I put it horizontally, it goes like around my neck.
Wait, show it to me. Show it to me vertically. Yeah, it might be too. It actually would look cool going up here, like from, like.
Well, I
going
thought about
up to your ear.
up to my ear. Yeah, so it's like she's saying it into my ear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should do it like that. I'll get a neck tat if you get a neck tat.
I've been wanting to get a neck tat for
Me
a long
too.
time.
I got the
that's
fucking
last.
itch.
Yeah, that's the last level of fuck the world for me.
Yeah. I think I'll probably end up getting a neck tat at some point, but I got to finish this one. Maybe I'll do a sound wave. I haven't decided yet, but I've got that space, and I'm open to recommendations.
Did we talk about Mickey Callaway? We did not talk about Mickey Callaway.
We did not talk about Mickey Callaway. Fired
That needs to
fired
be
Mickey
addressed.
Callaway. He's
Fired.
suspended through 2022. So the rest of this
On
year
the-
and next year.
Ineligible list.
Yeah, and when he comes back, I would imagine this is the end of the road for Mickey Callaway. I can't imagine that there's another team that's going to take a flyer on. Like, there's no, like, you know how many fucking pitching coaches there are out there where, I mean, why would you? So many teams are like, look at Yasiel Puig right now. Like, Yasiel Puig is playing what, in Mexico?
Yeah.
Because of allegations. And Mickey Callaway is confirmed with, not that they're the same, but like kind of in the same territory.
But
Teams-
across multiple teams.
So like there's instances where players with these reputations or allegations, or it's confirmed, and teams are doing the right thing now. And there are women who work in these front offices where the men who are in charge of making certain decisions are like, hey guys, listen, we're considering this person. Does that make anyone here uncomfortable? And if one woman says yes, they're gone. We're not entertaining this hire anymore. We're not entertaining this signing anymore. So yeah, I think it's just not worth that. You know, like when you're talking about pitching coaches, it's not like you're adding an ace or like, you know, how like Aroldis Chapman, the Yankees put up with Aroldis Chapman because he's the best reliever in baseball this year. It sucks, but that's just the way it is. I wish it weren't that way.
It's never been. That's the thing is it's never been different though. That's how it's always been. And that is how it will always be. But to the point that there's no room in the game for shit like that. There's just not. There never has been. There never will be. And it's good to see that it's finally being stamped out and the head of the snake is being cut off. It feels like at every opportunity to do so. I think at least recently. And this is an example of that where they're like, no, it's just not going to be a thing anymore. And to the point about the pitching coaches and staff members specifically not being worth it, it's because information is changing, data is changing, and the value of you just being a name anymore, that's falling by the wayside each and every day. Even your experiences, if you don't know how to communicate them or you can't combine those with new age information and how to process and translate that, nobody gives a shit. People are just not interested in giving you a paycheck and giving you a job to steer their young groups in the right direction if really all you got are stories to tell during stretch. They want to be able to get in the lab with you. And if you can do that, but you also have this baggage with you, like you're a non-factor. Like, nope, thanks for coming. We'll take somebody else who's been grinding at one of these fucking velo labs for the last 5 years and put them in charge of shit. Because we know that they're not sending dick pics to people that they shouldn't be so that they can try to like, no, it's not happening.
Sure isn't. So that's the end of that era. And my first thought was like, well, that wasn't worth not getting in on the Bauer sweepstakes. If he just like had an issue with Mickey Callaway being there and didn't want to play for the Angels because of Mickey Callaway, and then he never would have even had to see him. And you look at the Angels and the situation that they're in.
And that probably speaks more to the old school front office mentality where they're going to take a staff member and protect them before they would ever entertain a player. Like that's just like who's thinking that these days?
Yeah. I mean, first of all, I don't believe that the Angels were unaware of at least the rumors, because those rumors were definitely out there. So yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those things.
Well, that's
where
all. I mean, there's been conversations about whether or not certain individuals who may or may not still be with the team were privy to this kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, those rumors were definitely out there. Like nothing super concrete, I guess, publicly, but yeah, the rumors were out there.
No, it was categorized as the worst kept secret in baseball.
Yeah, besides sticky stuff. All right. That'll do it for this week. Enjoy a weekend of baseball, good weather wherever you're at. I think Montana just got snow the other day. So if you're listening in Montana, I'm sorry, but it's starting to be good weather out here on the East Coast. Dallas, you have good weather all the time. So I'm going to enjoy me some weekend baseball. I'm going to be going to, I'll be at Fenway on Friday, and then Saturday I might get over there because that's when we go to 100% capacity.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I tell you what, Jared, today's a pretty special day for me.
Why is that?
Because on the mound tonight at the Oakland Coliseum, will step one Shohei, the baseball god.
Does he have a restraining order against you?
I can't wait. I even asked on air yesterday during our game broadcast. I asked my partners, Glenn Kuiper, Ray Fosse. So, boys, is it street legal for me to wear my Shohei Ohtani t-shirt under my NVC polo? And they both shut that down very quickly. But I will bring it to the game. I'm so
Does he
excited.
know? Does he know?
No. I don't think he does.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't. Is he even on social media?
Ish. It's not him. I wouldn't think it's him. There's people running those Showtime accounts.
Okay. Well,
But I'm excited.
enjoy. If it lasts for 4 hours, see a doctor.
I apologize if they cut to me and you see just a vat of lotion instead of me.
Speaking of
Apologies.
vat of lotion, Tyler Glasnow last night.
Deal fest. What,
Yeah.
8 with 11?
Yeah. Just absolute stud last night. And he had that shit outing in Toronto, but there was an issue there. Why that happened?
Yeah. Can't tell them what's coming.
Yeah, you can't do that. And
Can't
but he's now tied Shane Bieber. He's tied Shane Bieber for the most strikeouts in the majors. I think he's like 4th in WHIP, strikeouts per 9 ERA in the American League. I mean, that Cy Young's coming.
Yeah. Tipping is just not a foreign country, Jared.
It's not.
It's not.
So, but we addressed that and we locked it up. We locked
You got
it up
him
last
throwing
night.
a no-hitter? I got him throwing a no-hitter
this year?
this year.
Yeah, me too. I think he's next.
Like, I've got thoughts and comments on the viability of no-hitters that maybe I'll save.
Okay.
Because I've been thinking about whether or not it's easier or more difficult today to throw a no-hitter. And I think that's a conversation that has to be given proper attention.
Okay, maybe next time.
But that's something I've been chewing on.
Okay.
So maybe next time, like you said.
Okay.
We out.